Studio 12 begins. Welcome to the south end zone of Kyle Field. Will Johnson, Matt Simon with you, and I guess we probably should start with baseball.
Maybe. They had a decent little weekend.
Had an all right weekend. When you sweep a super regional, I mean, there's going to be media requests and stuff like that.
It was just okay, wasn't it, Nick? It was just all right.
Yeah, it was all right. Nothing special.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Just another day at the office.
You got to keep doing this, though, if you keep winning, Nick.
I know. I'm here.
You're cool with it. Yeah. Nick Choruby, his segment will begin this show. Texas A&M, they swept Davidson over the weekend, had the epic 15-inning game. I always try to keep getting the math right. I go back and forth in my head. Was it 15 or 16 innings because it went so long on Friday. But winning it 7-6, and then the Aggies turn around with a come-from-behind 12-6 victory on Saturday, 2-0 over Davidson. And for the sixth time in school history, it is on to Omaha and the College World Series. And Nick, we'll bring your guest in pretty quick because we want to ask him questions about Friday because he was instrumental in the win.
Right.
So your honors, your teammate on this pre-Omaha edition. It's a pretty big honor, this show.
It's a big honor. It's my roommate, actually. We got the Swiss Army knife pitcher here, Mitchell Kilkenny.
Swiss Army knife. I like that.
Yeah, he can start for you. He can close for you. He can go long relief. He does what you need to do. So
They gonna let you swing a bat someday?
Oh, definitely not.
No.
Did you in high
doesn't
school at
work.
all?
Yeah, I was actually a first baseman in high school.
Okay.
But all that went down the drain when the pitching got good.
There you go. There you go. The nickname Killer, is that amongst the team? Or I hear fans say it a lot while you're pitching. But is that a clubhouse thing too? Is Killer the name you go with?
Yeah. Coach Childress, there's not really a story behind it. Coach Childress just kind of pulled it out one day, started calling me Killer, said he wanted me to have a little bit more of an attitude.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I only refer to him as Killer. It sounds kind of weird if I say Mitchell.
Yeah.
When he calls you, when he gets a
is,
text, does it say Killer on the phone? Is
No,
it worked
it
into the phone?
Maybe
yet?
I'll change it, but no, as of right now, it doesn't.
What do people call Choruby? Just Nick?
Just Chorb.
Chorb, I guess.
Nobody calls me Nick.
Yeah. How many baseball players actually get called just by their first name?
Yeah. If you don't have a
Can't think of
nickname,
any.
if you don't have a nickname, you got to work on that a little bit. I mean, it's like when you've made it. Killer, he's in. Chorb, you're in.
Yeah.
Some of the new guys probably have to earn their nicknames a little bit.
I think I may have found the best nickname yesterday because we interviewed Blake Kopetsky, the old guy, 24 years old.
Yeah.
He said you guys call him Pawpaw every now and then.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
He's earned that one for sure.
Yeah, he's been around the block a while. So Pawpaw is good. Nick Choruby, Mitchell Kilkenny with us on this edition of Studio 12. Texas A&M, we learned yesterday the start times to the College World Series. A&M, they will open in Omaha at 1 o'clock Central Time on Sunday, and they will take on the Louisville Cardinals. We'll get to that in just a minute. But, Nick, just the feeling of turning the hat backwards again, and each time you do it now, it's on a bigger stage. You know, you did it in Houston at the regional, but to do it at Bluebell Park on Olsen Field, that super regional, ending it, what did it feel like to you guys?
I mean, I can't explain it, to be honest. I mean, it's the best feeling in the world to get that last out and run in with everybody and go into the dog pile. That's the first time I've dogpiled on Olsen Field, I think. We won the regional there against Cal, but we didn't dogpile. So, yeah, I mean, it hasn't really set in yet that we're going to Omaha for me. I mean, my emotions were through the roof on the field, and then as soon as I got home, I was like, I can't believe we're going to Omaha. It doesn't feel like that yet. So maybe when we get there, it'll set in. But I mean, that was probably the best moment of my life, was getting that last out and running in and dogpiling.
Same for you, Mitchell.
Oh,
Killer.
yeah.
Sorry, Killer.
Yeah, every morning I wake up and I see the Omaha bound hat on my dresser. I just kind of laugh to myself because I always forget. Or someone's like, "Hey, are you excited?" I'm like, "Excited for what?" Like, "You're going to Omaha." I'm like,
You got to do the head shake. Yeah.
Well, every day you walk into your stadium, you walk down that tunnel towards your locker room or to the training room, and there's that sign of Omaha staring you right in the face, and that's the biggest step towards your ultimate goal, which is to be the last team there. But what does that mean? Have you noticed that in the last day or two when you see it, now you're going to get to go there?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I haven't really thought about it any different now that you said it. But, yeah, because I see it every day. But, yeah, that's the goal, is to get there and then win a national championship. But Coach Bolt was talking the other day about how everybody in college baseball kind of puts Omaha, like, up on this pedestal. Like, it's so hard to get there. You can't quite do it. And he told us before we played the Super, he said, I don't want y'all to do that. You know, we're just going to play in another baseball tournament. If you think about it like that, you're going to squeeze the life out of it and not going to do what you need to do to get there. So, I mean, I think that was really good advice from him, and we did what we had to do.
And you guys, both of you had your moments in the Super Regional. But first I want to start with Nick because I think of the entire NCAA tournament thus far. A&M, for one, incredibly, you get there at 5-0. You know, usually even when you go to Omaha, there's a bump in the road in the postseason. It's a 3-1 or a 4-1 regional. It's a 2-1 Super Regional. You guys are 5-0, but you, Nick, you're hitting 500 in the NCAA postseason, 11 out of 22. I mean, the stage is bigger. Do you just feel better on it the way you're going at it right now?
I really don't know. I mean, I just kind of go up there and try to hit. But
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, it's like I'm just trying to extend my baseball career at
Yeah.
A&M. So it's kind of like I wouldn't say the pressure's on, but it's kind of like I want to keep playing. So I'm gonna do everything I can to keep playing here and keep playing with everybody that I'm with right now. So that's just what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, we'll get to the extension of that career in a moment because there's milestones involved in that. We'll talk about that in a second. But I want to get to Mitchell's moment on Friday. I mean, 15 innings, and you have to go quite a while to end this thing, Mitchell. And John Doxakis, he actually got the 2 wins.
Yeah,
I know.
we were joking with him.
I know, yeah. Mitchell didn't even get the win on Friday. But, I mean, your performance to allow no runs as that game is just going on, and it's pressure-packed, extra innings. Just what was your frame of mind as you worked and continued on Friday versus Davidson?
Just taking it a pitch at a time, an inning at a time. That's all Childress ever asks of us.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just had to go out there and put up as many zeros as possible, give our offense enough time to score in the game finally.
Do you take a moment that do you realize the magnitude of it all when you're in the fight on the mound? I mean, do you ever exit the mound for just a second and say, well, everything's pretty big right here?
Never.
Yeah.
Every time I'm on the mound, it's like I'm not even thinking. It's just second nature. So I just go out there and, do what I've been training to do.
Mm-hmm.
You had a funny story in the post-game press conference when they asked you about, like, hey, did you get an indication that maybe you were going to go have a long outing or something? And I don't remember your exact phrasing, but you said it's one of the worst bullpens or maybe the worst bullpen you'd thrown in the season. And Coach laughed. He said, "Oh, glad I didn't know that." But just when going into prep, I mean, I guess you just keep throwing, right? You don't really count the number of innings you're going.
No, I was just going out there. I hadn't thrown in a while. And every time, after every inning, Childress walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, how are you feeling?" I'm like, "This is my game. Keep me in." He's like, "If you see me slipping, then take me out, but I'm not slipping yet."
Yeah. And it all sent you guys to Saturday with a chance to clinch it and win it. And, Nick, I think about your moment on Saturday. It was kind of something happened, and then you came up to rip a 2 RBI shot, but – I believe when Jorge hit his pop-up, you were on deck. You were the next guy up. As you watch all that unfold, does part of you think, while the ball's in mid-flight, okay, we're going to have to go to the 9th down 6-5 and maybe win it there because if they don't collide, that's probably the 3rd out of the inning.
Yeah, my thought process right there was, I mean, first of all, I thought Jorge was going to just hit a grand slam or something because that's what he does. But yeah, so he hit the pop-up, and I kind of sighed. I was like, oh, man. And then I was watching it in the stands. I was kind of like, I don't know if I started walking back toward the dugout or not, but I guess I was just standing there. And then the crowd just started getting super loud, and I was listening to it. I was like, oh, boy, I was watching the ball fall, and the infielders converge. I was like, this is not good. Good for us. And then, the ball drops, and I was like, all right, here we go. So that was pretty exciting.
Well, and they said, was it Blake yesterday was saying that, or maybe it was Cole. They're talking about the heads-up play by the guys on the bases to continue to run and not just say, oh, it's a pop-up, innings over. They hustled and got you the 2 runs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't do that, then it doesn't mean anything, I mean, if you're not hustling the whole way, then we just end up with maybe a run and bases loaded again. So that was huge.
Yeah, because I'm with you in watching it. It's a pop-up, so you automatically in your head you think out. But when I watched them converge, I immediately thought that doesn't look like a whole lot of communication going on right there.
I don't think they could hear each other.
And Bluebell Park,
yeah,
I don't think they knew where the others were. The person I was watching with, when it dropped, they said, oh, good, 6-6. But you mentioned the hustle, and then I was like, no, 7-6 because another run had scored there. But you come up right after. You seize the momentum in the lead. A one-run lead late in the game is not that big a deal, but if you can pad it, it becomes more disheartening to Davidson. How key was your 2 RBI hit following that? That was kind of the nail in the coffin, considering also what Walker did in the 9th.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, anytime you get insurance runs, it kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off of everybody, especially the pitcher that has to go out there the next inning and shut them down. So, yeah, I was excited to knock in a couple of runs, and then Penny came up the next inning and did what he can do. So that was that was great. We were up by 6 going to the bottom of the 9th. You never would have thought that.
And Mitchell, your thoughts on that moment? You thought the ball was going to be caught, didn't you?
Honestly, it was exactly what he said. I heard the crowd start getting louder and louder and louder, and you could see it happen before it even took place.
Yeah.
You mentioned the crowd. We got Mitchell Kilkenny and Nick Choruby with us here on Studio 12. I know you guys will take – you mentioned your first dog pile on Olsen Field, so you're not going to care where you do it as long as you get to Omaha. I totally get that. But how cool was that to get to do that at home, and how great was the crowd this weekend? I thought it was on really short notice because it was an unexpected host.
Right.
I thought they were amazing this weekend.
Didn't it sell out like as soon as we won the regional or something like that? Yeah.
It was over 7,000 both games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was as electric as I've ever seen our atmosphere. I mean, I remember the Cal regional a couple years, and then last year TCU was also great. But, I mean, yeah, that was, for me, that was the best time that I've ever had there. So that was great on their part. And, yeah, doing it at home, I mean, that's what you want to do is you want to do it at home. On the road, if you do it in front of their stands, it's kind of, I guess it'd be kind of quiet or something. But to just hear everybody going nuts and the banners drop, it says, like, Omaha bound, it was pretty sweet.
Yeah. And, Nick, we mentioned you're extending the career through the regional, through the super, on to Omaha. We've been tracking you with the career games played. I've got some good news and bad news on the career milestones here. I'll hit you with the bad news first. You end the super regional at 188 career games. Now, I believe the max you could play in Omaha is 8 games, and you'd have to mix a couple losses in there, which, I mean, nobody wants to do that. But
I'm okay with that.
I'd rather go 5-0.
Yeah, you just go 10-0 postseason, sweep through everything. But I think you would have. Yeah, I think the max you could get to career games is 196. So that's the bad news. But and I can't believe I haven't thought of this earlier, because when we watch you all year, your average is just right around 300 on the fence line there, and some weeks dips below it, some weeks up above it. But you're at 304 career average. You could leave here as a career 300 hitter, man.
Yeah, thank you for the extra pressure. I really appreciate that.
He's going to look into the camera up there, and he's thinking of you.
Yeah.
When he's not happy,
well,
he's thinking of you.
He's going to have to every if he
299.
gets out the first time in Omaha, he's going to go back to the dugout. What am I at, 301?
Yeah, Coach, I'm not feeling good, Coach. I got
hamstring pull.
I'm going to be a career 299 hitter just because of you.
Now, I got to ask this before we go, since you told us your roommates here. Which one is messier? Which one's the best cook? Is there even any cooking that goes on in the house?
Well, Killer actually does most of the cooking. Sometimes I just send him to the store like he'd be my wife, and he just kind of picks up some steaks for us and cooks them while I'm playing video games, and then I get up and eat it. But yeah, I mean we're both pretty clean, wouldn't you say? Yeah, we got a 4-person house, and it's just he and I there right now. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
this is summer, man.
Yeah.
This is
so, Killer, what's your
baseball and not
specialty
much else.
when you're sitting down to really be a chef there? What's your go-to?
I wouldn't call myself a chef. I've been cooking a lot of steak lately, but I used to live off of frozen tilapia. That was my thing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's great. You walk in, it just smells like fish in the house.
Well, as long as it's good eats.
What's your favorite cut of steak? What do you like to
Ribeye.
Ribeye guy.
Grew up on them.
There you go. I'm a filet guy. That's my thing.
I'm a filet guy too.
Yeah.
We go to Walmart and get the Walmart ribeye and cook them rare. Probably not good, but
that's all right. You got the old steakhouse working over there.
oh yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean it gets a little lonely around town when you're a baseball player this time of year, but
it's kind of nice without all the traffic.
it's true. Yeah, no traffic, but no class. All
I
that stuff.
don't mind it one bit.
No.
Yeah, I mean it's the ballpark and whatever else you want to do after the ballpark.
Exactly.
It's that baseball life. Well, guys, enjoy it. Have a blast. I know that's one thing you've heard from some of the former players is just soak it in, right? Just
Enjoy
to
the
take in
moment,
every
yeah.
moment you got. Yeah.
Well, along those lines, real quick before you go, have you talked to maybe like a Nick Banks, a JB Moss, those guys that went through the last 2 years and just a little short of Omaha?
Yeah, I mean, just about all of them have sent me a text saying, man, I can't believe you're going. Like, you deserve it. Congrats. And I'm just like, thanks, man. I just wish that you were coming with us, you know, like, especially the last 2 years, the teams we had, I thought, you know, we were more than capable of winning it all. So we didn't get to go, but now we're going, and they're all happy for us.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Nick Choruby, Mitchell Kilkenny, Texas A&M is off to Omaha. Best of luck up there, guys. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you.